Path of Building 2 is out, so I thought I would put a bare bones skeleton of my Corpsewade build out to make it easier for people to take a look in Path of Building, decide if they maybe want to do it, test some things out. So what I've done, this is my entire current skill tree. This is the skill tree that I am currently running. So this is not min-maxed, this is just what I have. I'm on limited time. If I go to my items, you'll notice there's plenty of items missing because they don't really matter. I'm focusing on the DPS because the tankiness I think feels pretty good, as you can see in my videos, and I'll worry about getting the exact items later, or maybe even wait until we can import. Now, what items I am using are 12% jewels, which are worse than what I have in game. My Prism of Belief, because I'm using that. You, of course, if you aren't, take it out. You can now search for these, by the way, on the trade site. I'm using my 2 rings, which have 30% chaos damage. Just every other stat doesn't matter, really, for damage. I have my +3 minion skills, my Corpsewade boots, of course, my snake bite for an additional poison. This isn't really needed to be put in, but I did it. I have my +2 minion skills, and then I have my +5 minion skills, and minions have 40% increased maximum life. So, I put all of that in, and the first thing I did was find out that I can't put anything here socketed in to decompose. So the way you have to do this is hit new for a new socket group and add in your skills, your support gems, and then socket it in your boots, and it automatically applies to the decompose. So if that's where you're stuck, that's how you do that. Now my minion here, you'll take a look here, you'll see that if I go to my minion's total life is 31,181. This is different than in-game. I'm going to show you in-game so you can see. These should be exactly the same. And this one is 26,503. And as you can see, there's all my pluses there. Everything adds up. I don't know why it's different. It could be a mistake in this actual menu in Path of Exile 2, or it could be a mistake on Path of Building 2's part. Either way, what I'm doing is all of my math calculations, because we are going to have to do math because some things don't work correctly right now. I use the in-game number. Also, it is worth noting I am using a level 18 Decompose, and the level 18 Decompose uses 38.5% of a corpse's maximum life. The reason that matters is there is no way in Path of Building 2 right now, and if you're watching this later, it might have been updated and fixed, there is no way to put in a corpse life, okay? So because there is no way to put in a corpse life, I have to go here and do 38.5% times this here, this number, 26,503. And when I do that, it gives me an answer. And when I have that answer, I will take it to the configuration page, and I'll put it down here as an added custom. That's all I can do, right? I'm sorry, that's all I can do to try to make this work. I also added in Eye of Winter, and I made sure to give it Withering Touch. That way in the configuration, I can add Wither. I add my enemy is poisoned, and they have 10 poisons. This is important because if you do not have this checked, DPS poison durations will affect your damage from your poison. That is not something you want to have happen. We are stacking poison clouds on top of each other to keep a constant poison stack of 10 of the exact same poison. So poison duration, as long as your clouds are there, doesn't actually matter because it immediately reapplies. So just go ahead and put 10 so it stays there. And is the enemy cursed isn't working. So this is, remember, this is without curses working. So if I go up to Decompose and I take a look here, it will tell me that my poison DPS is 931,696. And if I go and I lower the poison count, you can see how it goes down. So people ask, can you run this without Pathfinder? Without Pathfinder, you're looking at half the number of poisons, just to be clear. Now, that could be compensated by other things. I'm just saying, just so you know, that's why doubling your poisons is so important. So, all of that said and done, I think just under 1 mil DPS, without the curse working, feels pretty good. And I mean, I just think it feels pretty good. Now, with that being said, the great part about POB, if you've never played with POB before, you can just hover and check things out. So like, let's say I added these 4 points here, just these 4 points. It is telling me right now that that would be a 22.8% increase in my damage. 22.8% increase. Pretty crazy. If I were to somehow take this one, that's 17.4. If I got this big swirl, that is a 53.4% increase. What if I got rid of all of these bonuses here? That puts us down 21%, almost 22% damage. So this makes it really easy to try things out, okay? That's what's really nice. It's like right here, you can see that all of these 12/12s are about 10% DPS. And also, because the way it's set up, we can go and see, oh, this escalating toxins. If you look here, it doesn't actually change my DPS, really. And the reason it's not changing my DPS is because we don't really need these durations here. The only reason I'm taking this, and where's that? Down here. Taking this is because they're right there. You know, it's that easy. I could just go here, point, and get some more evasion. The reason I'm taking them is because when you're mapping, sometimes enemies don't stay in your clouds that long. And you can also see that, like, certain things you just don't need to deal with. Like, maybe you don't, like here, is this really worth it? I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will give you the 22%. So there's another way you can get 22% if you want. And there's a lot of min-maxing you can do in customizing and trying out things. And if you have a different level Skeletal Cleric, what you got to do is do your own math here for this. Hopefully, they make sure minion life calculations are correct, number one. And if they get that correct, all you would then have to do is add it into a corpse number, which they will probably add very soon into this configuration, because this is another problem that Detonate Dead has, okay? So, I didn't follow a guide, and I think I did pretty good, just under a mil DPS, so could be better, could be worse. I mean, it is better damage if I actually put in my actual jewels, but just, I know people have asked for a guide. I'm not a guide maker. I just play the game. So, this is probably as close as you'll get, at least for now. And I just wanted to make sure it was out there for people interested. This is available in the description. Chuck it in, reconfigure it, play with it, figure out where I'm wrong, right? That's the great part about it. You could build this completely different way, save some points here or there, boost up this damage, get yourself that level 19 decompose, get yourself that +3 minion skill mace. Maybe you want to swap into that instead of using a shield on bosses. That would be a significant amount of life. To give you an idea of that, let me show you. I'm not going to calculate it, but let me show you. If we were to go to skills right now and go up to my cleric and I just add 3, that's a significant amount. So that's a huge increase. A lot of things you can play with. You can try all sorts of stuff out. Added damage, damage is extra. So like I could go right here and do, what's the name of that ring? Ming's Heart. Let's see if I took a Ming's Heart. I could just say, what if there's a Ming's Heart? What if I ran that? Well, it would actually increase my DPS by about 8.5%. A lot of negatives, but it would increase my DPS. So, a lot of things you can test out. Hopefully, I explained it well enough for anyone that comes across this video. Just play around with POB2. Know it's going to get updated. And test out your stuff. Test out, see what you like. Maybe import some other people's builds. Maybe you can improve them. Maybe you want to change some things and see what you like.